Yeah, welcome to the Work in Progress podcast. I have Willie Katinowsky of Dumpster Rentals, a rental business offering roll-off containers for residential and commercial waste removal projects. They're servicing most of the America right now. I'll let Willie dig into that in a little bit more detail and tell the story. But yeah, let's jump into it. Willie, you can sort of tell the
Sure.
origin story of the business and tell us what the total market that you guys serve as well too.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So I'm with Dumpster Dudes, and we're a dumpster rental franchise. Our founder, very cool story. Dustin is our founder in Berks County, Pennsylvania. He had a hauling business that he was doing for I think about 15-ish years, and his personal vehicle breaks down, and he's searching for something to do errands, run errands with, go grocery shopping, things like that. He ends up buying a hook lift truck, right? On his search and 10 dumpsters and starts doing this part time after his hauling routes. Very hardworking person, by the way, too. So had a few hours each day to get to the dump sites, transfer stations, before they close down. And so he's flipping bins. And about a year into that, realizes, hey, I I think I could have a lot more opportunity here if I got rid of the hauling commitment and focused, doubled down on the dumpster rental business. So he sells off the hauling business, invests in more trucks, dumpsters, really attacks this thing and starts to grow a pretty substantial business in a somewhat rural pocket of Pennsylvania. He's an owner operator, right? So he's doing the thing. He's got a driver helping him out too, but he's delivering a lot of these dumpsters, and he gets this question enough times. Hey, where'd you hear? This is a great brand. Where'd you hear about this franchise? I've never heard of them. And after so many times of fielding that questions, looks into this is what it would take to become a franchise. So he starts piecing those things together, gets an FDD, but he's still doing it all on his own in addition to running his actual location. And then, late 2021, rolling into 2022, he puts a team together to really attack this and legitimize this offering and get it out to the U.S. And first was Aaron, who's one of his partners who owns Dumpster Dudes of Mainline. Aaron wanted to, they went to high school together, by the way. Aaron wanted to help out. The best thing he could do, buy a truck and dumpsters, help validate the model. He's done a great job of doing that, and he's
Sure.
also head of our operations now, so a big part of training and everything for us. Then they tapped in another friend from high school by the name of Brian Johnson, who owns a very large direct mail marketing company called MailShark, and he became the third partner. And so they worked together to really, hire some consultants, get this offer legitimate and ready to launch out to the U.S. And they brought me in as the fourth team member, really to have conversations with prospects and just help us kind of grow our footprint throughout the U.S. So a little long-winded story there, but kind of how we all came together to get this going when we launched in April of 2022.
Very cool. So what was your background before you joined the team?
Interesting. Yeah. So I was a teacher, actually, and I taught only kids who got arrested and were in the juvenile justice system. And I did that for the first 11 years of my career, right? Awesome gig. It was really great training for a lot of things. I think that job made me just a better person in general on the human side of all of this, and from a business aspect, there's no better sales training I think than teaching in, let's say, a challenging environment. So 11 years in that career, decide to make a switch in 2019, and I end up landing at MailShark as my first sales gig that Brian owns, and was right when COVID hit, actually, too. So I'm selling print marketing to restaurants. Well, when COVID's becoming a thing throughout the U.S., so it was a great way to
Great
really,
timing.
yeah, cut my teeth in the sales realm. But that connection that I had with MailShark was eventually, what got me over here to be part of the Dumpster Dudes team. Yeah. Aaron,
Cool.
Aaron on our
Yeah.
team, I'll
So
say
I
as
mean,
well.
it
Also
sounds like
worked there at once. Yeah.
that's really cool. Definitely not a traditional journey that you would think of, right? From
No.
teaching in the juvenile justice system to joining Mail Shark and now here.
No.
So when you look back, it seems as though the company really has found a way to scale, and the franchise model was what really allowed that. What was the turning point, in that franchising process that allowed it to sort of click? Was it the marketing of the franchising, or just, what is it that when
Yeah.
a franchisee comes that it makes them want to join the team?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think each year it may be a slightly different answer. I mean, at the end of the day, I think what people are buying into with us is that they know we genuinely care, and there's a genuine desire for them to be successful if they join our team. The whole
Hmm.
process, if you consider it a sales process, it's not about, hey, how can we get you to do this? It's about, hey, please take this serious, and let's make sure this is the right fit for you, that we're the right fit for you. I mean, you have to like dumpster rental. And then even if you do and you like the industry, anyone can buy a truck and some bins like Dustin did, and try to get things going on their own. So there also needs to be like this culture fit, and it'd be a good idea for us to all partner together. I mean, it's a huge investment. It's a life altering decision for anyone who's getting into it with us. And I think early on, it was feeling that from us, and the excitement of it was still a blank canvas in terms of the U.S. This last year has been our biggest
Mm.
year of growth. We're up to today. Actually, we opened our 54th location throughout the U.S. And I think the
Wow.
everyone joining on with us now is just kind of seeing we still have that emerging brand feel because we're still an emerging brand. There's still a lot of opportunity throughout the U.S. But with that said, when
Mm.
you're over 50 locations, there's a little bit more validity or safety to taking the leap,
For sure.
as clearly this is working, and people are seeing success, or we wouldn't be at the position that we're in today.
Yeah, 100%. And you don't have to share, but typical franchisees, where what could they expect on the return on that investment?
Yeah, so we share all that. We have a very transparent item 19 in our franchise disclosure document.
Okay.
And the way we have all
Yeah.
that displayed is within an EBITDA calculation, which is what a lot of CPAs like to see. I think if you looked at the
Sure.
current iteration of our item 19, it's an average of about 27% net EBITDA.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's typically a
Wow.
high profit
Very
margin.
healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for
Very
sure.
healthy margins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's a high profit margin business in general, and it's a very simplified model. And our franchisees that are seeing success too are leaning on us to support
Mm.
them. And so I think a lot of the support that we provide definitely saves a lot of money in terms of we do things that could be another employee or that would be for a mom and pop or could be in a very expensive agency contract, if they were doing this on their own. So there's an ability for us to do some things at scale and just really help everyone stay profitable.
Yeah. You're part of a team as opposed to going at it
Yeah,
solo. So
yeah,
before we went live, we were chatting offline, and you mentioned that growth opportunities. Right now, you guys are even looking internationally, like in the Ontario
yeah,
region in Canada.
yeah.
So the strategy for growth going forward, is that looking more about cross-border growth? Still lots of opportunity within the U.S. And a follow-on question from that. I'm here in St. Petersburg, Florida, Tampa Bay area, for example. So, and I think you guys already have an operator in this area. How does
Yep.
that work if somebody wanted to also become an operator in an area where somebody is an operator? So I guess, what do you
Yeah.
see for opportunities for growth, and where can operators operate?
Yeah, so opportunities for growth. I mean, for us, the jump across the Canadian border just seemed there's a lot of synergies there, and a lot of our strengths as a support structure come into the operations, which don't change very much once you get in across the border, and then our online strategies, our digital marketing presence, our SEO. Management of GBP profiles, all the things that we're doing, that it's going to be the same and it's going to work the same there, which is why that seemed like a logical place to expand for us. That would change though
Hmm.
too if we were looking at, let's say, Mexico, and now you were navigating different um, language barriers and things like that. And we might get there eventually, but for now, we're happy with
Mm.
the footprint that we're aiming for. Now, the growth
Right.
strategy itself. fit over financials has been our motto from day one. We've had some big offers from people who are very well capitalized, who wanted to buy very large, sections of the U.S. And at the end of the day, we need to protect everyone's investment. And for us to move forward with someone who wasn't the best fit just because they had a lot of money, it's going to hurt everybody who's part of the system. So we've turned all that away. We're really just trying to make sure we're partnering with the right people. So whether then 2026, whether that's two new franchisees that join the team or 32, it's fine with us as long as it's the right fit. So that's our main focus for expanding, and it has been since day one. And I think
Okay.
you feel that in the process, and you feel that there's this genuine desire to protect the brand and to protect each other, which makes it easier to
Yeah.
buy in. Now the second part of that question was what happens if there's two people in the same area. Well, we actually sell protected territories, so we're making sure that someone who's getting in with us, we're only selling them a territory that no one else has rights to, and then regardless of what happens with their growth, no one else in our system can do business in their territory. And kind of the message from day one with Dustin putting the team together and that being the huge accelerator to our growth as a franchise system. What we're looking for are people who appreciate that, want to be part of a team, and want to grow the brand together. So Pennsylvania is a good example. We have 6 units all next to each other that are great representatives of the brand. They do fantastic work, keep everyone happy, especially the contractors that work across multiple territories. So we have a ton of large companies that will just reach out to the Dumpster Dudes team, and hey, whoever's servicing that area, that that goes to them. And that only works if everyone's doing the right thing by the customers together, and we're all building this brand together, right?
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. So it also gives a little bit of a sense of urgency because if you're interested in, locking down a territory, you kind of have to jump on that before somebody else potentially, takes that opportunity.
Yeah, and that's a bit of what my job too is, just making sure people aren't acting out of a sense of urgency. FOMO is a real thing, and you shouldn't
Yes,
invest
yes.
hundreds of thousands of dollars in something just because you're afraid you're going to lose the opportunity. Especially now, this year more than ever, I have had to just make sure we're focused on for whoever's on the other end of the video call with me. This really has to be the right fit for you, and you got to take this seriously. You got to come meet with us before we'd even give you a franchise agreement to sign. Like, just make sure that this is a good idea and that we're people you want to partner with.
Mm. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's like marriage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Go on a
it
few
is. Yeah,
dates
it's a
before you
10-year
get married.
contract. Yeah, it's a 10-year contract, which can be longer than a lot of marriages nowadays. So yes.
Yeah, statistically, it probably is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's great on the opportunity side, and just circling back, looking at sort of challenges and bottlenecks, specific to, I guess, your role in the business, because the challenges are going to vary from franchisee to franchisee, I would assume. But so
Yeah.
what are some of the operational headaches that you guys see at corporate? So more on the
Yeah.
operational side than just assessing fit with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we've been growing since we launched this, right? And so it's just making sure we're
Mm,
proactive to take care of each other as team members, communicate with each other, and make sure we were staying ahead, being aware of our bandwidth and making sure we're staying ahead in terms of
mm,
expansion, with team members, and not letting it get to a point where we couldn't offer the support to our franchisees that we want to. And that, we're not, nothing against PE or anything like that. We're not a PE backed franchise, and so we're not
mm,
held accountable to shareholders. So we get to just be held accountable to our franchisees, and being able to keep that at the forefront of all the decision making, really guides you in the right direction. So just
mm,
to more concisely answer the question, it's really just been about bandwidth and being aware of everything that needs to get accomplished, and making sure that we can get the same support that we did when we were at 10 units that we will when we get up to 110 units. So
yeah, yeah, that's crazy because if you look at that, exponential growth, the to your point, bandwidth is that's unless the corporate team is growing,
Yeah.
there's definitely going to be things eating up a considerable, you know, portion of your time that might not have before. Like, and on that topic, what do you find does eat up a lot of your time? Like, where are you putting your hours or minutes in the day?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and it's in a few different areas right now. We have some exciting projects that we're working on behind the scenes that it would be premature for me to disclose some of that, but some of my attention is going to that. We're a startup, so we all have our hands in many different initiatives here. So I'm, part
Hmm.
of working with our digital marketing vendors, our website hoster and the SEO strategy. So, part of that and those discussions on a weekly basis. Um, I'm also doing franchise development for us too. So, amidst some of these other
Yeah.
things, it's just making sure that I'm, responding to interest that's out there. Managing the lead budget there, keeping my eyes open to different ways to meet great prospects, because that's the toughest thing. Is there's you know,
Hmm.
you know thousands, if not millions, of people who would be fantastic dumpster dudes and who have the money to do it, but it's not easy to get those conversations started or get in front of that audience. So a lot of my energy is
Hmm.
going to playing that game too, and then just whatever comes across our plate as kind of as needed for support for franchisees, which could
Yeah.
be, hey, it could be an email to me directly. Hey, Willie, I have a question about, this thing in my marketing spend, or maybe it's more broad and it's more of a system. Like, hey, I'm not sure what's going on, or I want to make a pricing change here. Can somebody help me out with this in the software? We're here for all of that. Some of it I handle, some of it gets past other team members, but kind of an all hands on deck approach,
Yeah.
really, for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys going to like franchise expos, that type of stuff, or is it more outbound um,
Yeah.
marketing?
We haven't we haven't gone to any of the expos yet. We've tried the franchise broker route. The bigger organizations weren't a great fit for us, but there are a handful of franchise brokers that we just work with directly, that are great.
Mm.
And then a lot of like portal leads, and I do some stuff on Meta, more geographically, when I'm trying to find someone in a specific area. Then open to everything we can. Like these conversations like this have been helpful. Somebody's been on a week long journey down the rabbit hole and on YouTube, and learning about the dumpster rental industry, and then they come across one of our videos and like, oh, these guys seem like it seems like a good group of people, and they'll reach out. So really whatever we can do,
Yeah.
but we haven't done the the expo route yet. Maybe we will,
Okay.
but yeah,
I spent a lot of years on expo floors, not in the franchise industry, but just
yeah,
in the search marketing world, and it's a great. I mean, I don't know if it's the most effective method of
right.
collecting high value leads, but it's a good opportunity for networking. Is essentially what I would say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm not convinced of. If people are coming there to actually, purchase a franchise and have conversations with us, or if everyone's just going to, eat and drink lavishly for a week, and
100%. Oh,
you
there
can't
was
see
years
for.
I remember attending. I remember attending the same series of shows because it's kind of like a circuit, and
Yeah,
you would see the exact same people at every single show, and some of them were there just to pick up like
yeah,
booth swag,
right.
stuff like that. So
Yeah, you can't see
pens and
from the
T-shirts and
chest
whatnot.
down here, but I don't need an excuse to eat and drink lavishly, so I don't need to
Oh
go to a
boy.
show for that. I'll take care of that on the weekend.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, if you're ever in St. Pete's, this is a great eating town and across all sectors, lavishly and unlavishly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm good
yeah,
at both.
cool, cool. Yeah, amazing. It sounds as though for you guys, like secret sauce just seems like really dialing into what the ideal customer is from a potential franchisee and having this family feel,
Yeah,
which is fantastic. Um, it sounds as though also you guys are your fingers on the pulse of your marketing,
yeah,
which is super important, managing that. Um, so, like most of the, as a result of the marketing, do you find that you're getting a lot of inbound leads? It does. Like, is that what you guys are accomplishing from it? And then you have
Well,
to sift through them essentially and see what are the good ones.
yeah, from a franchise development perspective, it's it's mostly it's really all inbound. I'm not doing like cold outreach. This
Yeah.
is a huge investment. It's a little different for what we're doing for our franchisees. Managing the ad spends in each individual market. We
Oh, you actually take care of that for the franchisees as well too. You're
yes,
managing
yes.
their search campaigns.
Yeah, so the way we have this set up, we're big believers in autonomy, and a lot of
Hmm.
brands will do, hey, here's this ad fund that you have to pay into no matter what, and it's going to get spent
Hmm.
wherever throughout the U.S., regardless of what
Yeah.
your input or feedback is. Brian on our team, who I mentioned earlier, does a lot of marketing for large franchise systems, and so had a lot of great insight into how franchisees in some large systems feel about that ad spend. And so we
Mm.
decided very early on, let's let our franchisees decide how much they want to spend. We'll make recommendations there, right? But let's not expect them to become marketing experts. So they'll pick what the spend is. We'll work with the digital marketing vendor that we recommend, and we meet with them weekly to look at everything, like the overarching picture of the system as a whole. We're navigating some of the AI complexities that are coming up now with Google pay per click. There's less clicks to pay for, so we're doing
Mm.
all that on everyone's behalf, so they can focus on the operations. But I mentioned we are big proponents of autonomy. So if someone didn't like the results that we were getting, they can also use any digital marketing firm that they'd like to execute the marketing. Most are letting us handle it, but if for some reason they didn't like the results, they could go elsewhere. So we're trying to be the best of both worlds. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to make these large decisions on your own. You can follow our recommendations, but if you want to go off the path a little bit, it's your business. You should have the freedom to do so.
That's incredible. Yeah, I've definitely heard stories of, people in other franchise scenarios whereby their particular um, location in this scenario, wasn't performing well.
Yeah.
But this is with a very big franchise brand, but I
Yeah.
don't want to mention them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're still having to, make contributions that are killing their margin. So
Yeah.
it is nice that you offer that flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the big
Yeah.
risk to us is if someone doesn't market at all, and we just decided, we're willing to. Hopefully, everyone trusts us and they'll take our
Yeah.
recommendations. And for those who don't want to spend on it, that's the only real risk we have on our end. And at the end of the day, it's not. You shouldn't do any business. I don't think there's any business where you don't want to spend anything on marketing. But
Yeah.
to each their own, and we'll support everyone the best they can, and just try to help them make great decisions. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Henry Ford has a great quote on, saving money and not spending it on marketing, but I'll butcher it because I don't have it in front of me, but look it up,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
people. So, I mean, so you guys are young, nimble,
yeah,
startup, and, you mentioned yourself, even on Google pay per click, now with AI, there's less clicks to pay for,
yeah,
but just putting that aside, you guys have the ability to make decisions about what you want to do.
yeah.
And a nice piece that I try to tie into every conversation is what businesses are doing to to utilize all this new technology that's out there. So, are you guys using automation or AI tools internally, like within the company in any capacity?
We haven't launched it yet where it's happening. We have been working on some projects kind of behind the scenes, and excuse me. One of the things we were trying to explore, um, you know, do we go to a call center to help alleviate some of that workload for franchisees? And we came across a lot of AI options, and this was about a year ago
Mm,
that we started to
yeah.
explore this. And we actually we invested a bunch of money, and we started building this AI call agent who could talk about dumpster rentals and
Cool.
learn our software. So it was
Wow.
two AI programs running concurrently. One was talking, one was taking that information and learn putting it in the software. And at the end of the day, we just weren't quite where it needed to be to have it launched. But I think
Mm,
we're getting to a point where we're going to be able to revisit that soon. And I know AI's light years ahead of where it was just a year ago. So that's
100%.
probably
And you were
the
trying to take that on internally, so you guys were actually trying to develop it yourself.
yes, yeah.
Wow. That's ambitious.
Yeah, we are definitely we're definitely ambitious. Well, maybe I should clarify. We were developing it ourselves, but we did hire a development firm to also do
Sure.
the actual coding because that's we are not.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
so we were working with them, hand in hand on that project, and it was really an interesting process because even though we didn't get it to where we were comfortable launching it from a customer service standpoint, it was still
Mm.
pretty good for what it could do. So we'll
Yeah.
revisit that soon, and then probably figure out chat bots or even some outreach that some of these programs can do now. We'll try to figure out where it holds its place in this model.
Yeah, yeah, I know it's interesting. From my previous life and one of my other businesses, we were developing a like a ad management platform, and
Yeah,
even though we are tech at our core, we had outsourced the development of that and to another development firm as well too. And it can get pricey. And the thing about that as well too, it's difficult sometimes to articulate what you want
yeah,
to people who are not in your business. You know, you're dealing with
yeah.
technical people, so you're like, no, we want it to work this way, and it's very difficult to do. But yeah, I mean, if you're able to crack that nut, that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, and I think it's a great point that you bring up when you're working with another team, and that has been a huge part of our success as well along the way. Was you mentioned we're nimble because we're young and we can be quick to pivot, and making sure we were aligned with the right vendors along the way has been huge for us. And hire fast, fire fast
Yes.
is a helpful model. And when you get a whiff that maybe this vendor isn't a fit for your culture, regardless of the service and everything else that's going on, like there needs to be that culture fit there too, or there's going to be friction and unnecessary, headache for franchisees. That's been a huge part of our success as we've grown too. So not to
Mm,
say it wasn't just our team and what we're doing. It's our vendors and our partners that we work with that appreciate our partnership and also
yeah.
genuinely care about this commitment to making sure our franchisees' success is at top of mind or the main goal for all of us. And so that in that AI project that I mentioned, we did work with a team that was amazing and really put their own assumptions about the industry aside and trusted us to know, hey, this is what we need, rather than a
Yeah.
programmer, saying this is technically this makes more sense. So we've
That's
had some
right.
great
Yeah.
mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been a firm believer in that people generally work with people that they like,
Yeah.
whether that's a vendor or whatever the case it is. Because if you have a partner, and every time you have to pick up the phone to call them, you're like, oh, jeez, I have
Yeah.
to call so and so. It's nice when you're reaching out to the people that you're going to work with consistently, and you're actually looking forward to having a discussion with them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I echo that sentiment.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what? Like, I think today this has been a really great conversation.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. What we're going to do now is we'll obviously set this out to get edited. Usually takes 4 or 5 days to get edited. And what I'll do is I'll probably loop back in touch with you just to like
Cool.
show you the final edit, give you any comments, feedback that we have,
Yeah.
um, and we'll get this posted up. We're gonna be posting probably I'd say next week or the following. We want to get like a batch of like 5 videos so all go live at the same time. So
Okay.
we're pretty excited because you guys are going to be up with some other interesting companies that I've spoken to in the past week, like a CBD business out of Colorado, just a wide range
Yeah.
of businesses, a wide range of conversations. So
Cool.
yeah, I think you'll be interested to check those out as well too.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. We'll share these things on our socials, and a lot of times we get them up on the website too, depending on where these are shared. If it's on YouTube, that's always easy. So
Yeah, we're going on YouTube for sure. Yeah. We got a little lag on the video, so I'll see what the editor is going to do to tidy that up. But I think
okay.
overall, yeah, we have something good. So appreciate it, Willie. I'm glad we
Yeah.
were able to make it work because I wasn't sure if you were hopping on or whatever. But yeah, I'm happy we were
Yeah.
able to
I'm
connect.
so sorry, man. I'm wearing all these hats, and I'm like literally reviewing an FDD with somebody, and it's just
So
going over, and I'm not, I'm trying to get off, but not be crass about it. And anyway, I appreciate you
yeah.
waiting the extra 3 minutes for me.
Oh, all good. No, and I'll be honest, generally on a side note, I'm really interested in the franchise model as well too, because the serial entrepreneur me is always like, oh, that sounds interesting. I know there's somebody in St. Pete, but what about
Yeah,
Clearwater, right? So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm
yeah,
around, man. You have my email, anything, or if there's a business you end up, franchising yourself, I'm always happy to at least chat through. Hey, this is what I learned very quickly being an outsider to
yeah,
franchising, and this is what I think you should do. So,
yeah. Let's have another conversation. This will none of this will be included in the. You know what? I'm going to email you
great.
because I don't want this going out to the editor. So I'll
Okay.
shoot you an email afterwards,
Yeah,
and we can have a chat.
yeah, always happy to help, man. So,
Cool,
thanks.
awesome, Willie.
See
Thanks
ya.
again.